Dennis Prager reacts to Megyn Kelly's frustration with some Jewish groups. Now, again, I wish that we were honest that these things are not binary. They're not all or nothing. It's not all Israel good, all Israel bad, all Jewish people good, all Jewish bad. There's a spectrum here. And Dennis Prager U University, Candace Owens' former boss, who, by the way, wrote her a long letter based on some of her wild views about the origins of Israel and all that sort of stuff, makes a crazy point that I think more people need to hear, and that's why I want to highlight. Okay. So I don't agree with Dennis on everything. He's made some wild statements about corn that I think he's off, but he's also done good work with regards to helping people unplug from some of the leftist brain rot.
Yeah.
If you think Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk have been anti-Semitic, you're out of your mind. Charitably, you're paranoid. And Jews have a right to some degree of paranoia, given what's happened to us. But I don't excuse it.
First point. He concedes the point that some Jewish people go too far with calling everything anti-Semitism because they're paranoid.
Yeah.
It's very mature. He then goes on to say, you're out of your mind if you think Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk were anti-Semitic. Now, I haven't heard many critical things about Charlie and Israel at all. I think he made some points that there was tension with regards to folks being feeling like muzzled and that couldn't say what they thought was wrong about some of the Benjamin Netanyahu's action with Israel. I think I don't know if he said this, but I remember the conversation about them setting up meetings for treaties in Qatar that the United States was involved in, and then like assassinating the leaders of Hamas.
That was crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to say, hey, we're moving towards a peace treaty and we're moving in good faith to try to eliminate this thing, and then you're assassinating people, I would say that's bad faith.
Yeah.
You know what their response is going to be is, well, they're terrorists. And according to the law,
we don't negotiate with terrorists.
Not only do we not negotiate with terrorists, but this idea of like you don't assassinate other world leaders, but you can if you classify them as terrorists.
Oh, because you're not a world leader. You're just
because you're a terrorist organization. Therefore, we
terror group.
We can wipe you out. Yes, and you guys know that Dennis Prager had an awful accident, and that he's getting back on camera now. He's starting to do these things. So he is.
Is he paralyzed?
I don't know if he's paralyzed permanently, but he's going to be a long recovery. Oof. So he had an accident. So
what was the accident? Like car accident?
It was in. I think he slipped or something. I don't know. It was pretty bad though, and so he almost died. So the fact that he's talking like this, even at, like people might be jarred by the breathing tube, is still massive. That he's like wants to be on camera and wants to engage in these conversations. I think his voice is very, very necessary. And yeah, a shout out to VSA. He said Dennis was a huge inspiration for Charlie. Prayers for Dennis for complete healing. Amen.
These have been two of the most outspoken pro-Israel voices. They are allowed to differ with the Israeli government. Half of Israel disagrees with the Israeli government.
Stop. Half of Israel disagrees with the Israeli government.
Hello.
This idea that it's the Zionists and the Rothschilds funded Israel, like half of Israel don't like Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah.
They were on the verge of massive civil unrest right before October 7th. I landed in Israel November 1st, 2022, the day after Benjamin Netanyahu got reelected, and there was a lot of tension. So this idea that Israel is this monolith and everyone just gets in line and does what Benjamin Netanyahu, it's just nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. There's, just like in America, a lot of disunity, a lot of conflict, a lot of internal fights, a lot of disagreements. There's folks in Israel that are like, yo, we got to stop Gaza, just get the daggone hostages home. And then there's other folks that are like, no, wipe them out. Like there's a wide spectrum of views. Yeah. And I just don't like hasty generalizations. I don't like lumping people up in massive groups where you don't know the idiosyncrasies in those communities.
Watch both of them in their outspoken defenses of Israel, which unfortunately takes some courage today on the right. There are a lot of voices that are anti-Israel. There were voices on the right that were anti-Semitic in William Buckley's time, and he, to his great courageous credit, publicly rebuked them. It took a lot of courage. Courage is the rarest of the good human traits, as I always point out. There are a lot of good people, but there are very few courageous good people. I would only say to Megyn and Charlie, in fact, I had every desire to call Charlie to talk to him about this. You can't say the Jews anything. George Soros is a Jew, and Benjamin Netanyahu is a Jew. Do they have—
Stop right there. Is this not the root of the woke right nonsense?
Yeah.
This is the root of it. The Jews,
Yeah.
the blacks, the immigrants.
Crazy.
He makes the point. Benjamin Netanyahu and George Soros are both Jewish. They have nothing in common.
Yeah.
They have nothing in common. George Soros is a raging leftist globalist, and Bibi is Bibi.
Bibi is a Bibi.
Bibi's a Bibi. Very different. So this idea of just like, it's the blacks, it's the Jews, it's the women, it's the hypergamous women, it's the immigrants. It's like, which immigrants? When did they come over? How did they come over? Right?
Yeah.
That's the issue. And what it does is when you just lump people in, you're a victim.
Come on.
It's them out there. You're the victim, which eerily sounds identical to the far left. Everything is oppressor versus oppressed, systemic racism, patriarchy nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
This is the issue. Stop doing this. Stop lumping the Jews,
Yeah.
the blacks, the this, the that. It doesn't, it's not helpful. I think it's satanic
Yeah.
when you do these hasty generalizations. I know Jewish people that are extremely friendly to Christians. Extremely friendly to Christians. And then I know Jewish people that they're crashing out because I said a little thing that's critical of the IDF, and they're crashing out on me.
Wow.
They're not a monolith, bro. Like, cut it out. Go ahead.
Have anything in common? Absolutely nothing. One is on the right and one is on the left, and therefore they have nothing in common. Hitler and the Nazis would say Jews were the inventors of communism, and Stalin would say that the Jews were the inventors of capitalism. So,
Right?
That's amazing. Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Which one is it? Well, they're both blaming each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
you can't both be right. You can't say the any group, the Americans, the whites, the blacks. It doesn't work.
I know you
Pause
said
it.
you wished
Pause
you
it.
called Charlie.
You remember during George Floyd?
Yeah.
You remember how people were talking about white folks?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that some of even the dehumanizing language of like, man, it's just white people, bro. They're just savages. It's in their DNA.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah, that's
How'd that make you feel as a white man?
Yeah.
Right?
Made me feel marginalized.
Yeah. Oh, you're the victim. It's the system. It's Marxism, right?
Yeah.
This is the thing that you can't do. When this was happening with George Floyd, and every single person was like, you got to post a black square, and you need to check on your black friends and apologize to them for what Dennis, the whatever the guy's name is. I can't remember. Like it's goofy. Like this stuff is goofy, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Go ahead.
To say what you said. I texted with him and I spoke with him this summer, but you could say something to Megyn Kelly. Would you like to?
Before my accident, you would have me on, and you were very generous in what you would say about me, and even say about me when I wasn't on. And I would likewise speak highly of you and mention you were one of the few regular podcasts I'd be watching. Since my accident, a major way I've kept up with the news. Are Jews defenders of Judeo-Christian values or the antagonists? The answer is some are one and some are the other. I have nothing in common with left-wing Jews. Nothing. And they have nothing in common with me. So please, for the sake of Western civilization, for the sake of America, for the sake of truth, don't take these comments from these Jewish fools, whoever they are, as indicative of the Jewish people.
Okay.
So Megyn Kelly has been crashing out a little bit on the Jews.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
With blank statements of the Jews are XYZ.
I don't know what exactly she said about the Jews.
That's what Dennis made it sound like. Sounds like, and I also heard that Charlie Kirk was getting a touch more critical of Israel right before his assassination, which is why they're like, it was the Jews that took him out.
What he was critical about is one, being told, "Hey man, Tucker Carlson's anti-Semitic. You should have him at your thing."
Oh, and he's like,
"I'm gonna do what I want to do."
Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna double down and have Tucker at it more often. Two, I think he was being critical of, "Hey, you can't criticize Israel's actions." And there are certain people that are being silenced for criticizing Israel.
Yeah.
And they're being called anti-Semitic for having any critique of Israel. So I think it was those two things.
Gotcha.
As far as I know from everyone around him, and we might actually have a friend of Charlie's on next week.
Oh, wow.
Who knew him personally, multiple photos with him, that wants to come on and kind of dispel some of this stuff. Charlie was extremely pro-Israel up until his passing.
Yeah.
You can be pro-Israel while having critique of specific actions within the cabinet.
Totally.
I think that's just the same way I am. Hey,
Yeah.
man, how are you guys going in and shooting your own hostages that are waving white flags in Gaza? Explain that to me.
Yeah.
I have not gotten a good explanation.
2-to-1,
Right.
2-to-1 KD
Right.
ratio.
So my thought goes, well, if you guys are sloppy with your own hostages waving white flags, what about the Jewish people that actually do, the Jewish soldiers that really don't like Palestinians because of whatever happened to them and they lost somebody in a suicide bombing or whatever?
Yikes.
How do you think they're going to behave? Now, to be fair, I had a Jewish viewer reach out to me and he said, hey, I actually know the person that pulled the trigger that killed hostages in that situation. And he said they left out that there was fog, that there was all kinds of weather conditions, that they couldn't see clearly, so on and so forth. And he's like, respectfully, like, if you've never served in the military, you're not going to understand what that's like. And I was like, fair enough. I didn't say I understand, but that doesn't mean I can't ask questions and be critical. And he was like, you can be critical. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think these conversations are healthy to have without generalizing everybody. You know, prayers for Dennis Prager's recovery. I think he's spot on. The Jews, the whites, the blacks, the Muslims. I think it's unhelpful. I think there's ideologies, and those ideologies are harmful. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you liked it, then hit the like button. If you liked it a lot and have a thought to share, leave a comment. If you are listening to this on the podcast app, make sure to leave a review, and you could even leave a comment over there. And if you want to watch another video that is recommended just for you, hit this video over here. Let me know if they nailed it. Also, you can partner with us monthly, which helps us out a lot in our monthly community, get access to early drops and all that kind of good stuff over here. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.